It's time for the news right here on Times Television, TTV, and here with me, Ronald Mpaso. First, the headlines. Parliament's Public Accounts Committee warns District Council officials against bloated allowances, ordering some to pay back. Vice President Saulos Chilima stresses on the need for Malawi to switch from reliance on tobacco to mining. And George Kasakula has been appointed as Director General for the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC. We have these and other stories. Stay with us. In our first story, Parliament's Public Accounts Committee has warned District Council officials against receiving bloated allowances, ordering some to pay back. PAC is meeting councils that have audit queries, as indicated in the audit report of the 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 funds, part of which was allegedly abused by some public officers. Some of the councils that appeared before the committee in Lilongwe yesterday are Salima, Balaka and Dedza. It was also discovered that some officials from Balaka District Council received 50,000 kwacha as allowances per day instead of 4,000 kwacha, which they have since paid back. Public Accounts Committee Chairperson is Shadrack Namalomba, and he speaks to Matthews Kasanda.
The culture of allowances needs to be arrested, and must be arrested now. For example, look at the Salima. They paid themselves, directors, management, paid themselves sitting allowances to service a committee of council. They paid themselves 15,000 instead of getting the 4,000 kwacha, which is a sitting allowance, lunch allowance. Yes, they have paid back. But that gesture alone of paying themselves 15,000 kwacha instead of 4,000 kwacha cannot be tolerated. And if not enough, if that's not enough, even to the extent of also paying themselves the same 15,000 kwacha for the normal meetings of council.
And Darwin Mngoli is acting District Commissioner for Balaka.
Is it true that it happened, and as they questioned us, that how often? So this is the only case that has happened to our office, Balaka, and normally we wait during the specified period. If we happen to knock off late, there's no incident where we have paid somebody subsistence allowance or even the lunch allowance just goes as knocked off late.
Vice President Saulos Chilima has stressed on the need for Malawi to switch reliance from tobacco to mining. Chilima made the remarks when he visited Mkango Resources Limited in Palombe District. Thomas Kachere has a report.
You can get the latest.
Bare a few days after President Lazarus Chakwera recommended Malawians to start thinking of substituting tobacco with mining, Vice President Saulos Chilima has backed the idea. He said the efforts by the company to invest in the project can turn around things.
The mine that's being planned in Songwe, in Palombe, from what we have seen, that's a game changer for Malawi. You recall that His Excellency, the President, made a statement on Sunday, and we are looking at mining as probably the next a big thing for Malawi. It is pillar number 2 in the MW 2063. We talk about industrialization, and we said mining will be an integral, meaning a very important component in pushing industrialization forward. And therefore, the reason I wanted to see is because we have been in discussions over the last 2 months, seeing how we could accelerate the development of the mining sector so that we can reap full benefits from the mineral resource that we have in Malawi. And therefore, further to the President's statement, we have been there to see physically what's obtaining. Very exciting news. The revelations that we have heard from the company that is undertaking, they've been doing exploration for the last 10 years. They are now ready to invest, and the investment is not small. It's over $300 million.
This is what Nkango Resources Limited Alexander Lemon said.
Well, very exciting update. We haven't just been looking, we've found them. And we've found a world-class deposit of rare earth elements here at Songwe. And the important rare earths: neodymium, praseodymium, dysprosium and terbium. Those are the rare earths that go in to make permanent high-strength magnets. Those magnets go into motors, electric motors, which drive electric vehicles and also drive electric wind turbines for producing power. So they're becoming very, very important in the new world that we're moving into, where we're moving away from diesel petrol vehicles to electric motors and this electric revolution which is taking place. Because of Songwe and this deposit, Malawi is in the front seat for supplying the world with rare earths, sustainably produced rare earths from Malawi.
On his tour, Chilima urged people of Palombe to take good care of the developments. He then assured people that government will officially open Palombe District Hospital this year. Before finishing his journey, he visited Mulanje Mission Market, which is failing to be operationalized due to people whose houses are blocking the main entrance. He gave 3 months to the Minister of Local Government to resolve the issue. Chilima then inspected Chiringa Muluza Road, whose updating activities halted due to misunderstandings between Roads Authority and the contractor.
Meanwhile, Human Rights Defenders Coalition says it will facilitate a meeting between the Ministry of Agriculture and farmers for discussions on the current tobacco sales, which according to the civil society organizations is currently fetching low prices. The coalition's chairperson, Gift Trapens, says they have received many complaints from farmers over the low prices and an increase of no-sale bills at the auction floors. Sam Kalmira has a report.
Trapens said as a coalition of different civil society organizations, HRDC will not be watching farmers being oppressed through the tobacco sales. He then said if contact and dialogue on the matter will not yield fruits, HRDC will support the farmers to hold demonstrations.
If it felt that the farmers have the right even to call for demonstrations, I think we should not be spectators for unfair, pricing of tobacco. It has been going on for quite long. It is important for government to be serious and committed to look at the welfare of farmers. We don't want people to be abused because they are farmers, but we need fair prices. So we'll push for that. I think it's also right to economic activity on the part of the farmers, and that can only be achieved if we have fair pricing.
Minister of Agriculture spokesperson Gresham Lungu said the minister is ready to meet the HRDC leadership on the subject matter. As of Friday, the average price of tobacco was at $1.68 per kilogram. So far, Malawi realized $15.1 million from the sale of 1.8 million kilograms of all types of tobacco within the first 2 weeks of sales.
The Board of Directors for the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC, has appointed George Kasakula as Director General of the national broadcaster. Minister of Information, Gospel Kazako, has confirmed the development. Kasakula replaces Aubrey Sumbleta, who was removed from the position in light of allegations of sexual harassment for which he is answering criminal charges. Kasakula has been serving as Editor-in-Chief of Times Group. Kazako explains.
As you're aware, the responsibility by law of appointing the Director General for MBC is in the hands of the Board of Directors for MBC, and the Board of Directors for MBC has just done that. You remember very well that is a few weeks ago, if not a few months ago, an advertisement was put in the paper advertising for the position of Director General for MBC. Shortlisting also was done, and several people competed for this position through interviews. The directors, after looking at the results, after looking at the performance, after looking at the qualifications, after looking at the experience and the abilities of all the candidates, they have settled for Mr. George Kasakula to lead the MBC, to be its Director General. As Mr. Kasakula is going into office as the head of MBC, we wish him well. But he has a lot of responsibility, because this government would want to have an MBC that is independent, an MBC that is fair, an MBC that is ethical, an MBC that is balanced, an MBC that should remain or must get back to Malawians.
Minister of Information, Gospel Kazako, and this is what Kasakula had to say.
Well, I've received the news which is humility, but at the same time, I know it's a challenge because the Malawians, I know the Malawians want an MPC that belongs to them. They want an MPC that is professional, an MPC that is diligent, and they don't want anything less than that. So it will be a challenge to change the culture, to change everybody towards the score. But I think it's a beautiful challenge, and I'm ready for it.
How big a challenge is it to manage such a big institution?
It is very big, but when you have a good team behind you, it shouldn't be difficult. So the first thing will be to motivate the people, build a good team, a team of directors. I followed what the board was doing. They are really busy. We are doing recruitment, including recruiting me as well as the other directors. So when we go there, we'll do one team. We'll work very hard to make sure that we change the culture. Everything will have to be changed. Even the way the news is done will have to be changed.
How can you describe your time at the Times Group?
Well, I'm still at Times Group. I haven't resigned yet. But it was very beautiful. I joined Times at the time that we were repositioned from being a newspaper company to now my trade into electronics as well. So that was a challenge, because I arrived right at the beginning. So it was a very big challenge to harness the energies of everybody to make sure that we deliver this new TV that we wanted to deliver. When the radio came, then of course we were online as well. I'm happy to be living at the time that probably TV, obviously, is the best TV on the land. Every other year we're winning Namisa. Radio is coming up as well.
George Kasakula, the new Director General of the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, MBC, speaking to Isaac Salima. Statistics from the Ministry of Health have revealed that less than 20% of the country's population washes hands regularly. Deputy Director responsible for quality management in the ministry, Owen Musopole, disclosed this at Kamuzu Central Hospital in Lilongwe when Malawi joined the rest of the world in commemorating the World Hand Hygiene Day. Wezi Gausi with more in this report.
Hand washing with soap is one of the cheapest, most effective things you can do to protect yourself and others against coronavirus, as well as many other infectious diseases. Msopole says it is worrying to note that over 80% of Malawians do not wash hands regularly. He further says that as government, they are working to make sure that every health facility should have functional toilets or hand-washing facilities at either points of care where patients are treated.
Hand hygiene is very important in the sense that it's one of the very important strategy to prevent transmission of infections. But you notice that hand hygiene is one of the things that is poorly done in our healthcare facilities. Healthcare workers usually forget to wash hands as regularly as possible. Equally, the communities also.
A representative from Ethano Company, Mpaso Mtambo, says his film would continue supporting government with sanitary materials for disease prevention.
We introduced safe hands hand sanitizer in 2020, just soon after we had been hit by the pandemic. From that time on, we've been producing hand sanitizer of high quality, and we've made sure that our hand sanitizer is of affordable prices, that a lot of people can have access to it. That will in fact help the pandemic and other diseases that comes through viruses.
This year's World Hand Hygiene Day was commemorated under the theme, Seconds Save Lives, Clean Your Hands.
You're watching the news on Times Television, TTV, and we now take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Kuonjezera ma units ATNM kuyambira 200 kwacha kapena kuposera pamenepo mutha kukhala mmodzi mwa mamilioneya mu TNM Tikolole promotion. Koma mukaonjezera ma units ndi 100 kwacha kapena kuposerapo mudzilandira ma bonus oyimbira phone, SMS kapena data pompo pompo.
TNM, always with you.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Define your surroundings with the color of your choice. Make it warm, creative, friendly, and vibrant. Code textures, durable color options, with up to 1,200 color shades to choose from. Be it economy range or premium range paints, innovative paint and color technology in every drop. Available in Blantyre, Build Africa, and Limby Corner Mart Building, and in Lilongwe along M12 Road, close to Gateway Mall. Tropical Paints, your world in color.
Welcome back. Minister of Justice Titus Mvalo says lack of operational and financial autonomy is affecting operations of the Department of the Registrar General. Mvalo says as a department which is responsible for administration of intellectual property and other functions, it needs to be modernized to give the country a vibrant and effective agency. He was speaking during the launching of a consultative meeting on the Draft Companies and Intellectual Property Office Bill. Audrey Kapalamula has a report.
According to Mvalo, the bill under scrutiny will make the Department of Registrar General become an autonomous company and intellectual property office. Mvalo says this will be in line with the policy of national intellectual property, which was developed to create an enabling and conducive environment in which creativity and innovation would thrive, thereby accelerating industrialization and economic growth and development in line with 2063 agenda.
So it is now a creature of statute. In other words, it's going to be a statutory body. So it will have that independence from government. Certain things will have to be done without having to wait for a decision made by myself as means of justice, for example. So that way is going to speed up also operations because you don't have to wait. Sometimes it may take time to get my decision. They can decide matters. It will operate like a business.
Registrar General Chikumbuso Namelo said the change will make the office vibrant in its operations.
The expectation is that this office is going to be vibrant, this office is going to be effective and efficient in the delivery of its services, and this is in line with government's public sector reforms.
Executive Director of Copyright Society of Malawi, Dora Makwinja, said the development will help to improve efficiency in the rights of creators.
We will see a lot more of efficiency in the administration of the rights of creators.